tank in 9 3/8 hours, the tap of the larger diameter takes 10 hours less than the smaller one to fill the tank separately. So we need to find the time taken by each tap separately to fill the tank. Okay, so let us take a tank as shown in the figure, which has two taps, one a smaller diameter tap and the smaller diameter tap is this one and the bigger diameter tap is this. Okay, so now let us assume that let the time taken by the smaller diameter tap be x hours. Okay, and the time taken by the larger diameter tap, since he's saying in the question there it is 10 hours less than the smaller one, so it will become the larger diameter tap takes x minus 10 hours. Okay, now if this is the case, then in 1 hour how much part of the tank will be filled in 1 hour? When the smaller diameter tap is opened, it fills 1/x part of the tank. Okay, so similarly in 1 hour, when the larger diameter tap is opened, it will fill 1/x minus 10 part of the tank. Now since he is saying that when both the taps are being opened, it is taking 9 3/8 hours. So what we'll do is we'll take when both the taps are opened in 1 hour. So this much part of the tank is being filled when both the taps are being opened. And since he is saying when both the taps are being opened in 9 3/8 hours, okay, so the whole tank, so this one represents the whole tank is being filled. Okay, so when you convert 9 3/8 to an improper fraction, it will become 75/8. Okay, and taking the LCM here, x square minus 10x, and then x minus 10 comes here to the numerator of this part, and x to the numerator of this part will be equal to 10. So when you take 75/8 to the other side, it becomes 2x minus 10 by x square minus 10x is equal to 8/75, because it becomes a reciprocal when you take it to the other side of the equality. Now when you do the cross multiplication, so which will give us 75 bracket 2x minus 10 will be equal to 8 bracket x square minus 10x. Now when you open up the bracket, so which will give us 150x minus 750 will be equal to 8x square minus 80x. Okay, so let us try to take all the terms to one side. So let us take these terms to the other side of the equality. Then what you get 8x square minus 80x minus 150x plus 750 will be equal to 0, because the minus 750 will turn to plus 750. So which will give us 8x square minus 230x, because minus 80 minus 150, which will give us minus 230x plus 750 will be equal to 0. Now when you see that all the three terms are even numbers, so they have a 2 in common. So when you take 2 common, so which will give us, so 2 bracket 4x square minus 115x plus 375 will be equal to 0. Now when you take 2 to the other side, which will give us 4x square minus 115x plus 375 will be equal to 0 by 2. What is 0 by 2? Which is nothing but 0. Okay, so 0 by anything will become 0, so you are getting 0 there. Now we need to use middle term factorization or quadratic formula. So let us use the middle term factorization. So we can see that the 4 and 375 has to be multiplied. Okay, so which will give us, so 5. So these are the factors. So which is 7 5s are 35 and 5 5s are 25. So when you take 5, again you can see units place having 5 there. So 5 1s and 5 5s and 5 3s. Now when you see 25 into 4 is nothing but 100, and this 15 is giving us, so all these, so 100 into 15, so which will give us 4x square minus 100x minus 15x plus 375 plus 375 will be equal to 0. Now when you take 4 common in the first two terms, so when you take 4 and x common, so x minus 25, and when you take minus 15 common in the next two terms, x minus 25 is equal to 0. So we are getting it as x minus 25, which is common in both the terms, and 4x minus 15 equal to 0. So when you equate one by one, so in the sense x minus 25 will be equal to 0, or 4x minus 15 will be equal to 0. So when you take 25 to the other side, it becomes x is equal to 25, or 4x is equal to 15, and x will become 15 by 4. So 15 by 4 approximately is 3 point something. So now we need to take only 25, and we should not take this because we are saying that, so therefore the time taken by smaller diameter tab is 25 hours, and the larger one takes 25 minus 10, because in the question he gave 10 hours less than the smaller diameter tab, so which will be 15 hours. So since we cannot take this because we are getting x is equal to some 3, and when you subtract 10 from that 3, so you're getting in negative, so that's the reason we should take only 25 hours and 15 hours. So the smaller diameter type is taking 25 hours and the larger one is taking